Imagine a millionaire driving through a quiet town. His car suddenly breaks down. He steps into a small coffee shop, and there, sitting alone, is a woman he thought he'd never see again. His childhood best friend. But what he discovers about her after all these years leaves him completely speechless. Stay with me, because this is the story of lost time, unexpected love, and a secret that will change everything. Thank you for listening to this heartfelt story. If it moved you, share it, comments below, and let someone know. You are never alone. The road through the quiet town felt strangely familiar. My black car slowed, then stopped. The engine sighed like it carried the weight of my past. My driver stepped out. I will find a mechanic nearby. Silence wrapped the street. Across the road stood a small coffee shop, warm light glowing through the window. I stepped inside. The smell of roasted coffee beans and fresh bread filled the air. Simple wooden chairs, soft music, a calm that money never bought. I ordered a coffee and sat near the window. Then my eyes paused on someone. A woman sat alone at the corner table, long brown hair falling over her shoulders, soft eyes staring into her cup. A quiet grace surrounded her. Something inside my chest stirred. A memory. A summer field. Laughter. 2 children running barefoot beside a river. My heart skipped. Charlotte. I stood slowly and walked to her table. Hello, may I sit here? She looked up, surprised. Her eyes searched my face. I feel like I have seen you before, but I cannot remember. A smile escaped my lips. I am Liam. Silence. Then her eyes widened. Liam, from the old neighborhood? The years between us vanished. We stood at the same time and embraced. Her hug felt warm, familiar, like home. Memories rushed between us. School mornings, shared lunches, dreams whispered under the wide sky. We talked for what felt like minutes and hours at the same time. Charlotte spoke about her quiet life in the town, teaching children, helping neighbors, living simply with kindness. No husband, no crowded life, just a heart full of patience and quiet strength. A strange feeling moved through me. I traveled the world, built companies, chased wealth and success. Yet the peace in her eyes felt richer than everything I owned. The afternoon sun slid through the window, painting her face in golden light. She smiled softly, and in that moment, the boy I once was returned. The boy who believed love lived in simple places. My chest tightened with a sudden realization. Life carried me across oceans. Yet destiny quietly waited here, at a small wooden table, in a town time almost forgot. Charlotte's fingers brushed mine as we laughed again about childhood adventures. That touch sent a quiet shock through my heart. Not the loud shock of fear, the deep shock of truth, the kind that wakes a sleeping soul. Outside, my driver returned with news about the mechanic. Inside, my world slowly changed. Charlotte looked into my eyes again, curious, gentle, full of warmth. And in that quiet coffee shop, our story began to unfold further. Charlotte's eyes rested on mine. Soft, curious, warm. The noise of the street faded behind the glass window. The coffee between us slowly cooled. Yet something inside me awakened. Her smile carried the same innocence I remembered from childhood. The same quiet kindness. Life treated you well, she said gently. Her voice felt like sunlight after a long winter. I smiled. Life gave me success, yet peace always stayed far away. She listened carefully. Charlotte always listened that way. With patience, with understanding. The same way she listened when we were children sitting beside the river, sharing dreams bigger than the sky. A gentle breeze moved through the open door of the cafe. Her hair moved softly across her cheek. My heart paused again. Charlotte, your life here. Are you happy? She nodded slowly. Peace lives in simple places. Her words carried quiet wisdom. No bitterness. No regret. Just calm strength. I studied her face more closely. 30 years old, yet her eyes held the purity of the girl I remembered. No scars of broken promises. No heavy shadows. Then she spoke again. I stayed here. I waited for life to show its path. Her words carried a strange weight. Something sacred. A sudden realization moved through my chest like a silent storm. Years passed. Cities changed. People entered and left my life like passing trains. Yet Charlotte remained untouched by the noise of the world. Her heart stayed patient, faithful to something deeper. My breath slowed. The shock came quietly, like truth revealing itself. The woman sitting before me carried a rare devotion to love, to sincerity, to a promise her heart once made. She never gave her heart to anyone else. Not because life forgot her, because her soul chose to wait for something real, for a love that arrived with honesty. My hands trembled slightly on the wooden table. Money built empires around me. Yet this moment felt more powerful than every success I owned. Charlotte noticed the silence. Why do you look at me that way, Liam? Her voice carried gentle curiosity. I leaned closer. The warm light from the cafe windows surrounded us. Outside, the mechanic worked on my car. Inside, destiny quietly repaired something inside my heart. Charlotte's fingers rested softly on the table between us. Our hands slowly moved closer. That small distance felt like the longest journey of my life. Her eyes searched mine again, deeper now. And something beautiful, powerful, and life-changing slowly began to awaken between us. Her eyes searched mine again, deeper now. The world outside continued its ordinary rhythm. Cars passed. Voices echoed faintly along the street. Yet inside that little coffee shop, time moved differently. Charlotte's fingers rested close to mine on the wooden table. Only a breath separated them. My heart beat with a strange mixture of joy and nervous wonder. A millionaire at 30 years old. Yet in that moment, I felt like the same boy who once waited for her after school. She tilted her head slightly. Liam, what are you thinking? Her voice carried warmth and curiosity. I looked at her carefully. I remember the river behind our old houses. Her face brightened instantly. And the big oak tree, she added softly. Yes, I said with a smile. The place where we promised something. Charlotte lowered her eyes. A quiet blush touched her cheeks. I remember. The memory lived clearly between us. 2 children sitting in the grass. Hands full of wildflowers. Dreams larger than the sky above. We promised that one day we would find each other again, no matter how far life carried us. I traveled across cities, across countries, across oceans. Success followed. Luxury surrounded me. Yet somehow, that promise never disappeared. Charlotte slowly lifted her gaze again. There were days, she whispered, when I wondered if that promise still lived somewhere. Her words touched something deep inside my chest. The scent of fresh coffee drifted through the room again. Soft sunlight moved across the wooden floor. The moment felt sacred. I searched for many things in life, I said quietly. Yet peace always escaped me. Charlotte listened with that same patient kindness. Then she spoke gently. Peace sometimes waits in the place where the heart first learned how to love. Her words created a deep silence between us. Not an empty silence. A meaningful one. My hand moved slowly forward. Her fingers remained still, yet welcoming. The warmth of her skin reached mine. A soft shock traveled through my entire body. Charlotte inhaled slowly. Her eyes held a mixture of surprise and quiet happiness. The years between us melted away. In that simple touch, Something powerful awakened again. Outside the window, my driver waved to signal that the car repair continued. Yet leaving that place suddenly felt impossible. Charlotte's hand remained in mine. Her voice lowered almost to a whisper. "Liam, life brought you back here for a reason." Her words settled deep in my heart. And as the afternoon light slowly turned golden, our long-forgotten promise began to unfold even further. The golden afternoon light slowly filled the small cafe. Charlotte's hand still rested in mine. Warm, gentle, real. For a moment neither of us spoke. The silence carried meaning deeper than words. I studied her face again. Years had passed. Yet her eyes still held the same kindness I remembered from childhood. A kindness rare in the world I had been living in. "Charlotte," I said softly, "life here feels peaceful." She nodded. "Peace grows where hearts care for each other." Her words carried quiet wisdom. Through the window, I watched people walking along the narrow street. Neighbors greeting each other. Children laughing near a small bakery. A simple town. Yet something about it touched my soul. "Tell me about your life," I asked. Charlotte smiled gently. "My days stay simple." She spoke about teaching at the small school nearby, helping elderly neighbors, reading books in the quiet evenings. No luxury, no grand adventures. Yet every word carried warmth and purpose. I felt something strange inside my chest. In the world I came from, people chased more and more. Bigger houses, faster cars, higher titles. Yet peace always slipped through their fingers. Charlotte leaned slightly forward. "And your life, Liam?" I paused. How could I explain a life filled with success, yet missing something essential? "Many cities," I said slowly. "Many meetings, many achievements." Charlotte listened carefully. "But happiness?" she asked gently. Her question floated softly between us. I looked at her hand still resting in mine. "Happiness feels closer now than it has in many years." Her cheeks warmed with a quiet blush. Outside, the afternoon breeze moved the small bell above the cafe door. The sound felt strangely comforting. Charlotte's fingers tightened slightly around mine. "Sometimes life guides people back to the place where their story truly belongs." Her words stirred something powerful within me. Memories returned again. The river, the oak tree, 2 children making promises under an endless sky. Promises spoken with innocent hearts, yet somehow protected by time. A quiet realization settled inside my mind. Perhaps destiny had patiently waited all these years, waiting for the right moment, waiting for this meeting. Charlotte slowly stood. "Come with me," she said softly. Curiosity rose inside me. She led me toward the cafe door. Outside, the evening sun painted the sky with soft colors. The town looked even more beautiful now. Charlotte walked slowly beside me along the peaceful street. Then she stopped near a small path leading toward the open fields beyond the houses. Her eyes shined with a familiar spark. "The river still flows there," she whispered. My heart skipped again. Charlotte looked at me with quiet excitement, and together we stepped onto the path that carried us deeper into the memories of our past. The narrow trail curved gently between tall grass and old wooden fences. Evening light spread across the fields like warm gold. Charlotte walked beside me, her steps calm and unhurried. The soft sound of gravel beneath our shoes echoed in the quiet air. I breathed deeply. Fresh earth, wildflowers, the distant sound of flowing water, the same river. "How many times did we run through this path as children?" I asked with a smile. Charlotte laughed softly. "Too many times for the neighbors to count." Her laughter carried a warmth that touched something deep inside me. For years, I surrounded myself with luxury hotels, private flights, shining towers of glass and steel. Yet none of those places ever felt like this. Alive, honest, peaceful. The path opened into a wide field. And there it was. The river still moved slowly through the land, just as it had when we were children. The great oak tree stood beside it, tall and strong. Charlotte stopped walking. Her eyes rested on the tree. "Time protected this place," she whispered. I felt a quiet shock inside my chest again. So many years passed. Yet the most important pieces of my childhood still waited here. Charlotte walked closer to the tree and placed her hand gently on its rough bark. "We carved something here once," she said softly. Curiosity filled my mind. I stepped closer. The fading sunlight revealed faint letters carved into the old wood. 2 initials. L+C. Below them, a small heart drawn by childish hands. My breath slowed. Charlotte looked at me with a mixture of nostalgia and quiet emotion. "We believed love could last forever," she said gently. I touched the carved letters. The wood felt rough beneath my fingers. Yet the promise behind it felt alive. "Charlotte," I said slowly, "some promises never fade." The river whispered beside us. The evening breeze moved softly through the branches above. Charlotte turned toward me. Her eyes held something deeper now. Not just memory. Hope. Her voice lowered to a soft whisper. "Liam, when you left this town years ago, a part of my heart believed our paths would cross again." My heart pounded quietly. All the years of distance, ambition, and restless searching suddenly felt smaller than this moment. Charlotte stepped closer. Close enough that I could feel the warmth of her presence. The golden light of sunset surrounded her face. "Life brought you back here today," she said gently. "And sometimes, life opens a door only once." Her words settled into the evening air. A deep feeling of destiny moved through me. The river continued its endless journey. The oak tree watched silently over us. And standing there beside Charlotte, I felt the next chapter of our story slowly beginning to reveal itself. Charlotte's hand remained close to mine, though neither of us moved to touch. The silence between us was no longer empty. It was full of memory and anticipation. The river murmured softly beside us, carrying reflections of the amber sky. I remembered our childhood dreams, wild, impossible yet pure. And here we were, standing in the same place, decades later. "I used to imagine this moment," I admitted quietly, "wondering if it would ever come." Charlotte's lips curved in a small, knowing smile. "Some dreams are patient," she said, "but they always return when they are meant to." I stepped closer, feeling the grass brush against my shoes. Every nerve in my body seemed to hum with a gentle energy. The air smelled of wet earth, wildflowers, and something that felt like hope. "Charlotte," my voice caught in my throat. Her eyes lifted to mine, wide, shining with emotion. I never stopped thinking about you. About us. About this." She tilted her head, studying me. A quiet breath passed between us. Then she whispered, "I waited, Liam. I waited because I believed in what we had once shared. And now, you're here." A wave of tenderness and pain surged through me. The years apart, the empty luxury of my life, all of it faded in the warmth of her presence. I reached slowly, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. Her skin was soft beneath my fingers, warm and real. Charlotte's hand moved to cover mine. A gentle squeeze. A silent acknowledgement of everything we had lost, and everything we could still find. The sun dipped lower, painting the sky in hues of pink and violet. The river shimmered, reflecting our faces. It seemed to whisper that time had finally brought us together. "I never imagined finding you here," I said softly. Her smile was tender, sad, and full of understanding. "You found me," she said. But maybe it was never about finding. Maybe it was about remembering. The wind carried the scent of wildflowers and fresh water. I felt a shiver, not from cold, but from the enormity of the moment. Charlotte's gaze held me firmly, her eyes echoing decades of patience, hope, and quiet devotion. And in that instant, I realized life's greatest wealth had nothing to do with money. It was this presence, this connection. We stood side by side, listening to the river, feeling the air, feeling each other. I could sense that what came next would be unforgettable. And yet, the story between us was just beginning to awaken. The sun had dipped behind the horizon. The sky now glowed in soft purples and deep oranges. Charlotte and I stood by the river, the water reflecting our silhouettes. Her hand rested in mine. Steady, comforting, real. For a long moment, we simply breathed, listening to the gentle rush of the river, the whisper of the wind through the oak leaves, the quiet rhythm of life around us. "I never thought life would bring me back here," I said softly. Charlotte looked up at me, her eyes glistening. "Sometimes," she said, "life doesn't take you where you want. It takes you where you are meant to be." I nodded, feeling a warmth spread through my chest. All the ambition, all the wealth I had chased, none of it compared to this moment, this connection. We walked slowly along the riverbank, each step a gentle reminder that the heart remembers what the mind often forgets. Time may pass. Life may scatter us across cities and continents. But the bonds built with sincerity, love, and patience never truly fade. Charlotte paused and turned to me. "Liam, the best things in life aren't found in haste," she said. "They are nurtured in silence, in understanding, in kindness." Her words sank deep into my soul. I realized then that love is not a fleeting spark. It is the quiet flame that survives storms, the gentle presence that waits for hearts brave enough to return. As the evening deepened, stars began to appear. Tiny lights mirrored in the river's calm surface. Charlotte squeezed my hand softly. "And sometimes," she whispered, "the world brings you exactly what you need, not what you thought you wanted." I smiled, feeling a profound peace. Life's wealth is measured not in gold, but in hearts touched, in patience rewarded, and in love that endures time, distance, and trials. That night, standing there beside Charlotte, I understood. The truest riches are the bonds we cherish, the lives we touch with kindness, and the love that waits for us to finally recognize it. Forever, I promised myself I would honor that, not just in words, but in every moment we shared.